Welcome to MotorLand, a podcast driven by AAA about the road of life and the wheels that set our journeys in motion. I'm Jared Deenda, the voice of motorsports and auto events all around the world, and your wheelman here in MotorLand.
And I'm Michelle Donati from AAA, happy to be along for the ride.
All right, Michelle, I don't know about you, but I am one with the food truck. I mean, you find so much great food with the food truck.
Same. It's crazy to think that some of the best food is available on wheels.
Today's show takes us to SF. I love the city. I left my heart in San Francisco, right? Well, we'll talk to a coffee sommelier who decided to put her cafe on wheels. And the wheels turn out to be almost as important to her success as the coffee. Buffy Maguire is the owner of the Lady Falcon Coffee Club. What a great name.
It sounds like we have another great episode brewing.
Okay. All right. I see what you did there. Leave the dad jokes to me. Okay. So let's buckle up and ride. Buffy Maguire, thank you so much for being with us on MotorLand.
Thanks for having me.
Do you have coffee in your hand?
Always.
Yeah. Let's start with a bit of terminology. I am told you are a Q grader, which is apparently a huge deal in the coffee world. What is a Q grader?
It's basically the coffee version of sommelier. It's a very rigorous method for calibrating how coffee is tasted and scored and all the bougie coffee stuff that you can imagine.
BTW, Michelle, Miss Donati, there's only 500 of these in the U.S.
Oh, wow. So we are an elite company with Buffy.
You've done your research.
Where's that passion taken you on your journey?
I was exposed to the specialty coffee world when it hit San Francisco, primarily in the Mission District, maybe 2006. And I was drawn to the single origins. I was drawn to the storytelling. I was drawn to the taste. But coffee culture had caught my interest long ago. In high school, I would go to North Beach and sit in cafes with all of my friends because, of course, we weren't 21. And just this kind of feeling, this having wonderful conversations, and they're really community building, and they've always been an interest. So the two worlds sort of coalesced for me.
Why did you decide to go mobile with the coffee club and owning your own brand? Why did you go mobile?
This was really a passion project of coffee beans that I just loved, that I wanted to roast and share. And building Lady Falcon was to create a specialty coffee company that was not snobby. One of the things that I did not like about coffee, it was just all the judgment. And as San Francisco was becoming more and more affluent, there really weren't any corners in the city that were going to give birth to a price-sensitive cafe. That was one reason. The other reason is that I had done a mobile coffee setup at the Rip Curl Ocean Beach surf contest in 2011. It wasn't as Lady Falcon, but it was my coffee. And I was Kelly Slater won's like his 11th something.
World title. No big deal.
Yeah. He's the man. And right when the line started, Rip Curl lost their power. So we couldn't serve anybody during that. And I thought, oh, if I ever do this again, I'm going to have my own power. I'm going to be self-contained. I had like this whole list. And with the rents in San Francisco being high and my experience with this, I thought, well, why not?
I'm looking it up here. What is the Lady Falcon Coffee Club vehicle? I can't even place it.
That's because it's a one of a kind. So it started out as a 1948 GMC bread van.
Michelle, are you seeing this thing? Definitely have to post it on social media.
We'll get a picture of it up at MotorLand Podcast on our Instagram.
That vibe is like really on point with the neighborhood, but I thought it was going to be a VW bus. It turned out that when I started to think about it, the VW bus was just so small.
Now it's making you bread, Buffy. It's making you that money.
Yes.
I just went onto your Instagram and looking at just the logo and the beauty of it. I'm just going to dive into this. You lost your son and he kind of played a role in your journey here?
My oldest son, Kevin, was 8 years old and seemed totally fine. And he scored 5 goals at a soccer game. And the next day he collapsed. And before you knew it, I was in an ambulance driving as fast as you can from Children's Hospital in San Francisco to Stanford, where they did an emergency brain surgery on him. And August of 2013, he passed away.
I appreciate you sharing that. Michelle and I are both parents. Michelle has twin 8-year-olds. I have an 8-year-old. I appreciate you honoring him and you honoring us with that story.
Yes. And after he passed away, there was no ability to just stay in bed and pull the covers over my head.
You got to be strong.
I didn't feel particularly strong, truthfully. So when Kevin was sick is when I started to doodle this manifesto for this coffee company. It was a daydream, and it wasn't something that I really actually intended to do anything with other than to just keep my brain from spiraling into pits of despair. Kevin passed away in 2013, and I didn't launch it until October of 2016. It wasn't like, oh, this is what I'm going to do now. It was just a kind of meandering of all the things about San Francisco that I loved and all of the things that were feeling a little bit overwhelming. We were losing a lot of our history, and a lot of it was oral history because I grew up out at the beach. I knew about the early bohemians. And so I knew about the Falcon Ladies Bicycling Club that was part of this little bohemia called Carville. And they lived in these old abandoned streetcars from the Muni. And so I always had this imagination about these women in the 1880s riding bicycles. And when I was doing my daydream, I invented the Lady Falcon Coffee Club.
Oh, wow.
It had a life of its own, and it just sort of kept pulling me forward, I think is the best way I can put it.
You're such a historian. You have this analog feel. I feel like you have a record player, right, Buffy?
Someone bought me a record player. But
Let's just get back to the kind of automobile part of it.
How does that manifest 3 years later? And when do you realize that this is no longer just a daydream? This is something you're going to make happen.
I found the coffee truck. I didn't know that the coffee truck was going to be Lady Falcon. I just thought, oh, I finally found, this vehicle. So I found the guys that were going to help me build it. Their shops in West Oakland in the shadow of the Burning Man collectives. And so we saw it off the roof. We re-welded it and we put VW bus windows all around it to give that nod to the neighborhood, to the beach culture.
Yeah, I'm a car guy, but I do love coffee. And I just think it's so unique and cool. Maybe tell us the best part of that life and the downside too. If somebody wanted to start a mobile coffee business, kind of what are they signing up for?
We're lucky in the sense that we are we found a home in Alamo Square across from the Painted Ladies, which is very on point for us because, all the craftsmanship of the Victorian and the view of the city. There's also so many opportunities. We do Outside Lands, which is that huge concert in Golden Gate Park.
Yeah.
And that's a massive experience that my team just adores. The fact that it is really a 1948 GMC bread van. So it really doesn't zip around with an old engine that's stick shift, only has 4 gears. I've told this story that when we did the ribbon cutting, for the truck, I went to the West Oakland. I had my high heels on and we were all ready. And okay, it's who wants to drive the truck home? Because I had driven my car there. I had no intention of driving this thing home. And they were like, no one knows how to drive stick shift. Of course. So, high heels and all, stick shifted it over the Bay Bridge. And anyway, don't do stick shift.
But you know what? Jared could drive it for you.
Yeah.
If you ever need, there you go.
I'm there.
Good. It only has 4 gears. The truck is the heart of the brand. It's the storytelling. It's the visual. It invites people to ask questions. People will ask, oh, what's up with that front grille? Because the front grille is this gorgeous Art Nouveau piece. And when I found this, it was broken. So we had it, an artist, Mike Valdez in West Oakland, he shaped it. He created a mold and then he re-poured it. And then we installed it, so those are little details that I think that it tells a whole story. So I think it's the storytelling for sure.
Yeah. What's that term, the Japanese term where they take it and they fill in the cracks with gold? A bowl or a dish is cracked and they fill it in with gold and it makes it that much more richer and more beautiful than it even was before. And that's the story that you're telling.
Oh, I like that.
And I feel like the vehicle that is the Falcon Lady Coffee Club vehicle is kind of like that. It's one of one. And just like your life, here you are. It's one of one. And Kevin being part of that and forever will be part of that. And he's riding shotgun with you.
Yes.
In your truck. I'm not crying. You're crying.
I agree.
Yeah. I can't wait to see where the road and the truck takes you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm headed to San Francisco I think next week, and I will be making a stop to get a cup of coffee from Lady Falcon Coffee Club.
We were just going to talk about a truck and some coffee, and here we are just getting a straight up history lesson. For real, she really sets a standard to how to do food and beverages on wheels, and her passion, you can just hear it in her storytelling.
Hey, I have a question for our listeners. Do you have a favorite mobile dining experience? Tell us about your favorite food truck or mobile cafe by using hashtag MotorLand Podcast on Instagram. Let's give the best food trucks in America some love.
Gosh, I can't think of which one my favorite one is. All of them. All right. So big thanks to AAA for making this podcast available to everybody during their own coffee breaks or wherever you listen.
We'll see you next time in MotorLand.
Take me anywhere.
MotorLand is executive produced by AAA Mountain West Group in cooperation with Sound That Brands. Hello, Take Me Anywhere, written by Justin Sullivan, performed by Night Shop, by arrangement with Terror Bird Media. Thank you for listening. If you like it here at MotorLand, please give us a rating and a review and share it with all your friends. It's kind of like sending a postcard that says, "Wish you were here." I'm Jared Deenda. May the road rise to meet you and the wind be at your back. We'll see you again soon in MotorLand.